The race for governor. After campaigning hard for more than 24 hours straight, Democrat Antonio Villaraigosa is still awake and with us live.
Looking forward to it, Alex. Let's see if I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Weeks ago in the race for governor, polls show Democrat Antonio Villaraigosa in the fight for his political life. And don't just take my word for it. Here's the headline from today's LA Times. The mayor campaigning for more than 31 hours straight. And as part of that, he's here on The Issue Is. So good to see you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for honoring the commitment to be here.
And the jury's in.
Yeah.
I'm not bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, how are you feeling? How tired are you? Talk to us about this journey you've been on.
I'm actually not tired. I'm fired up, and I am because I met so many great people along the way. I was at Grand Central Market. I was at two metro stops. I was in every part of the city and places I've been to many times. There were a couple of good luck charms there that I've done 6, now 7 24-hour runs. This was 31. So it was a great time just interchanging with people and reminding them to come out and vote on Tuesday.
And that's some video of you on that run for the last several hours. So let's talk about where things are at right now. Most polls show Gavin Newsom pretty far ahead, shows you and John Cox, the Republican, in a dogfight for number 2. Now, the question is, are we going to have a Republican versus a Democrat or a Democrat versus a Democrat? Gavin Newsom, when I talked to him, told me it's better if we have a Republican versus Democrat because then we don't have Democrats spending hundreds of millions of dollars potentially going after each other. What do you say?
Well, you would say that in your head, and virtually every pundit, Democrat and Republican, have criticized that notion as cynical. The fact of the matter is we should have a debate about the future. You're not going to have a real debate with somebody who has no shot of winning. John Cox is never going to be governor of California. The math isn't there for him. It's a very blue state. So I think it would be important for this state for us to have a conversation about what we're going to do about the fact that the state is the 5th largest economy in the world with the highest effective poverty rate. We have a homelessness rate that we all have to ask ourselves, what are we doing that we have so much homelessness? You know,
so what are we doing that we have so much homelessness?
Well, I tell you, we're not treating it like a crisis. And as governor, what I've said is we got to give cities back the money we took from them for redevelopment dollars for affordable housing. We got to have a housing trust fund that says to cities, you got to have you got to put up your own money. You have to plan for homeless, workforce, affordable, transit-oriented development, ADUs, granny flats in the backyard. But you also have to streamline permitting and zoning changes because we're just not building enough units in this state.
Another big issue is that of education. Some of your biggest backers are supporters of charter schools. You've had big donations from Reed Hastings of Netflix and Eli Broad and Michael Bloomberg, giving millions of dollars to an organization that is backing you. What do they want for that money?
Well, the other candidate also has millions of dollars backing him by independent expenditures. I think what the people are going to get, not them, but the people of California, is a man who's going to be focused on education. And the best way to know that is to see what I did as mayor. When I became mayor, 1 out of 3 schools were failing. There was a 44% graduation rate. I challenged the city and said, this city won't survive, much less thrive, with that kind of a rate. I took it from 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 10 schools failing, from a 44% graduation rate to 72%. Political Fact looked at that and said, you know, I wasn't exaggerating. It's true. The fact of the matter is about 83% of our kids are graduating. If you're poor, it's 70%. If you're an English language learner, it's 64%. The next governor is going to have to grapple with the fact that the reason why we're not growing together in this economy, there's 2 Californias, 1 rich and 1 poor, is we're not focused enough on education. And that means early child education, all the way to college affordability.
Another big issue is that of transportation and of traffic. As mayor, of course, you built light rail here in the city.
3 light rail lines, 1 busway, more than anybody in the United States of America.
But traffic is still such a big issue. Well, so what does the traffic look like? What's the solution there?
Well, look, I also tripled the number of left-hand turn signals, stopped construction during the rush hour. We have what the quintessential city of sprawl. People live in the outlying areas, and the jobs are in the inner areas. So that's what transit-oriented development's all about, bringing housing closer to jobs so you don't have the kind of traffic that you have. The fact is there are 4 million people in this town. There are 10 million in the county and 18 million in the region. So as mayor, I did more than any other mayor with respect to addressing public transportation particularly, but also the issue of congestion and the like.
Let's do something called the policy issue. These are issues that don't probably get enough attention, but we want to talk about it. So you get to pick one of these cards and pick it randomly and read it out and tell us what you think.
Marijuana. How is the marijuana experiment going and what can be improved? I think what's being very clear is that the law hasn't been implemented. The people have spoken. Whether you agree or not with that initiative, the fact is they've spoken. Many of the cities aren't complying. They're very slow in implementing this law. We still haven't figured out how to bank the marijuana proceeds. And so what you have is very little in terms of revenue that was supposed to come actually coming to the Treasury.
Yeah, and of course, you were the only candidate that admitted that you had smoked marijuana, and a lot of people were wondering if other people were being honest when they answered that question. Let's go to something called personal issues. This is where we got 30 seconds to learn a little bit about you and have a little bit of fun, too. So you ready? Okay, here we go. Favorite pie?
Apple.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Favorite Star Wars character?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Meal you cook the most?
Meal I cooked the most, it was chicken.
Okay, last movie you saw in a theater?
Black Panther.
First concert?
Three Dog Night.
Favorite newscaster?
You.
Okay.
At least you
got the last one right. Thank you very much. Well, you know, something else that is today. You know, it's National Donut Day. And I know you got to stop by Randy's Donuts. I think we might have a picture of that. So that's a lot of fun. With
Villaraigosa. They made the donuts in
So we know you're on hour 31, so we wanted to help you out to get some sugar. So DK Donuts gave us this donut right here. It's red, white, and blue, American flag style, just for you. And there we go. How's it feel? Is that going to get you home? I need some sugar,
it's
right?
It's going to give me a sugar rush.
Yeah, we both do. Mayor, thanks so much for coming in. Best of luck to you on Tuesday. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Up next, a different view from Democrat John Chung. Stay with us. Mayor's already heading out. See you later.
I think I'm supposed to leave. I thought you wanted me out of here.
No?
Yeah, right.